Okay.
Okay, we can start. We can start.
Okay, so a pleasant day to everyone and especially to those who are listeners right now of this presentation. My name is Jefte Toledo. I'm from Negros Oriental State University student. And for this video, you're going to present to you our COIL project activity, which discusses about our understanding in terms of intercultural intercultural cultural cinematic understanding or analysis. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay, so I have to open my cam. I'm so sorry for that. How about this? Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So on this discussion, we're going to tackle about a movie which we have chosen as a team, entitled The Parasite, which was viewed and was been published in the year 2019, sorry. And at the same time, just to give you a brief overview why we have come up with this project activity, as it was stated, this activity foster a deeper understanding into intercultural communication strategies to strengthen our understanding through cinema and other medium of communication. So without any further ado, this is the group 6, and we're going to discuss now about our understanding with this activity. For our first part, we can proceed now to the next slide, please. The table of contents. Okay, so the introduction will be provided to us by one of our members, and I'll give you to her the time now. All right, for introduction, can you please state your understanding as to what we have discussed and planned, please?
Hello. Okay, let me talk about the introduction of our film. And the film we choose is Parasite, and this film is directed by Korean director Bong Joon-Ho in 2019. The style presented by this director in the movie is social criticism and profound revelation of class contradiction, and the narrative technique combines black humor and thriller elements. The character creation delicately shows the inter-conflict and struggles of the characters. And the social style has strong symbolism. The details are full of meanings, and in-depth thinking triggers a reflection on social structure and human nature. Next page, please. Then I will briefly introduce the plot development of the movie. The son of the Kim family got an opportunity to work for a wealthy family through a friend, and he gained a trust of Mrs. Pax. He framed others to lose their job and recommend their family members. One day, when Park family is out, the former maid comes to visit and discover her husband is hiding in the basement, but they also discover the secrets that the Kim family was parasitic in pet home. And the day after they resolve their conflict, and the Park family held a party. During the birthday party held by Park family, the husband of the former maid washed out and assassinated the Kim family. And the father of the Kim family also had murderous intention towards and the father of the Park family. Finally, and the Kim family's father fled back to the basement of the mansion to become a parasite. And the son decided to work hard and mansion to rescue his father. Next page, please. And in this film, it also shows some cultural significance. First is social class and wealth gap, and the contrast between the Kim family and the Park family shows the gap between the rich and the poor. And although the Kim family entered the upper class through dissection, and they were never able to truly integrate into it. And there are also some symbol of class or oppression, and the basement of the Park family symbolize the oppressed and vulnerable groups. And the husband of our former mate live in the basement of our mansion, reflecting society lack of the forgotten. There are also many enhancement of culture details in the movie, such as a heavy rain flood the semi-basement of the Kim family, symbolize the destruction of the fragile foundation of life, while the Park family enjoyed the romantic in the mansion. Next page, please. Now I will pass the next one to talk about the part 2.
So let's talk about the cultural context. So next page, please. So at first, space symbolism at the film scene. During the rainstorm, the Kim family flees from the park's hilltop mansion and descending countless stairs, finally reaching their semi-basement before taking in an even lower underground gymnasium. So this downward escape not only monitors the ritual discrimination of social class, but it reflects the Koreans' cultural obsession with climbing upward. The wealthy living on hills isn't merely geographical positioning, but symbolize the life appearances of successfully climbing up in Korea's competitive society. So next page, please. So the uniquely Korean forms of politely discrimination, since from Chairman Park from his luxury cars backseat used the most refined Korean etiquette and subtle expressions to describe the poor that smells like sauce soaked in mildew, exemplifying typical upper-class Korean superficial. This highly ritualist discrimination reflects Korean society's unique face culture and the subtle class-based distant connections divisions. So next page, please. So the third one, semi-basement living and Korean housing culture. The scene, the drunk man urinating outside the Kim's windows exposed the predicament of semi-basement residents. This living space between above and below ground is an unfortunate product of Seoul's housing place, reflects the reality of young people in Korea and the poor believing excluded from the normal housing market under Korea's system. So next play, please. So the third, the illusion of educational class. So from the film, the Calvin holds his fake university diploma and practiced himself hypnosis This reflects Korean society unhealthy pursuit of sky. The top three universities of Korea education. So this one reveals how the Korean education system from college and entrance exam to private academic culture depends rather than narrow class differences. So next page, please. So finally, smells as a class marker in Korean society. So the poor dad in film repeatedly smells himself on the bus, an action related to Koreans' particular sensitivity to body smell. In appearances conscious Korean society, even body smell serves as a class marker. So the Korean society class-based interpretation of smell reflects deeply ingrained social stereotypes. So I pass to the next one.
Okay, so sorry, before we proceed for that, thank you so much, Amy. Allow me first to let you know about our aspects, why we have chosen cultural context, our introduction, and the character analysis will be going to be discussed by our leader, Mr. Javan. And this section, by the way, we will we did examine and a specific person, which is Javan, has character analysis and setting analysis, understanding with their roles and how they contribute to the narrative stack. So I'll give now Javan the time to have his discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And now I will do the character setting analysis of the Parasite. Yeah, I will focus on how it reflects the cultural value and the economic realities and some social issue in Korea. And we can see the character dynamic between the Kim and the Park family in this like a microcosm in the Korean society. And it showed some social class disparity and social mobility in Korea. Now, let's take a look of the Kim family and the Park family, how to reflect the South Korean cultural value and the social issue. The first social issue is about the income inequality. We can see the film show about the large gap between the rich and the poor in the Korea. The Kim family is living in a basement in a poor area, and in a big contrast, and the Park family is living in the two-story villa with a garden in a hill. And it shows about the distance between the wealthy and the less fortunate. And it shows about the serious wealth gap in the Korea. And also in the setting, the villa is in the hill, and then the Kim family, the basement is in the lowest in the point of the city. That we can see is the film is symbolizing their struggle between these two families. And then the second point is the social issue is the low social mobility. The Kim family is the film have said the Kim family is unemployed, partly because they lack of the university degrees and some good educational backgrounds, and they can only find some low-paying jobs, like they have do some packing the pizza box in the film, which only just help them to survive in the city. This situation show that for many gastro people in Korea, it's hard to they are very hard to moving up the social ladder. It's showing about it's really impossible. And then the film has highlight about the people who without the social and some academic quality, they have little chance for the better life. and it show about it is hard to them to change their life. And then the other point that the film has highlight about is the Korean society is importance of the academic success. In the film, the mother of the Park family is typical Korean parents who have about two tutor to help the daughter and the son to have some educational support in about the school. She just choose some good teacher from the good university. It's showing about how education is highly valued in the Korean culture. And then the last point is about the film has talk about is the film has show about the traditional gender role in Korea. In the film, the father of the Kim family is a traditional Korean male who are wanting to seek some respect and some of his family. Yeah, and also the woman in the film, just like the mother of the Park family, she just stay at home to take care about their children, and you can see is obey to the husband. In conclusion, the current setting of Parasite could fully reflect the reality of the social issue and the cultural value of Korea. Now I will pass the time to my good mate to talk about the visual analysis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Javan. Before we proceed, for the visual analysis, we will analyze now more in depth for the visual elements, including the design, the cinematography, and the other creative aspect of this movie that enhances the overall presentation. Now, may we call on our part of our group to discuss this presentation.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
We can
do.
hear you.
So I am James Reyes Millondaga. I am from NORSU WURI Santa Catalina campus, and I am going to discuss the visual analysis of Parasite. Next slide, please. So the visual aesthetics of the Parasite supports the genius storytelling of the movie, which is a collaboration between the cinematographer Hong Kyung-pyo and director Bong Joon-Ho, who emphasizes the subtle cultural themes that is shown throughout the movie. Next slide, please. So the visual analysis is focusing on the disparities between the social classes in South Korea. So in this analysis, we will have an in-depth look at how the creative minds of the director or the filmmakers showcase the main theme of the movie, which is the disparity between social classes in South Korea, which is part of their culture, where wealth is what everyone is after. Disparities between social classes is a universal theme. However, in South Korea, it is very prevalent because it is embedded into their culture. These disparities between social classes were distinguishable throughout the movie through the use of lightings, color, utilization of physical space, and cultural symbols and motifs. Next slide, please. So the first key visual element that we are going to discuss or analyze is the color grading and lighting. So first is the Kim's family home. The opening of the movie, or the very first part of the movie, the Kim family home is shown, which was a cramped basement setting with a muted and bleak tones. This reflects on the economic struggles and restricted opportunities of the Kim family, meaning that they are in the lower level in the hierarchy of social classes. So wide lenses and large format camera are used to mimic realistic human eye perspective. Next slide, please. So the home of the Kim family was juxtapositioned with the scenes of the Parks family home. So whenever the Parks family home is shown in frame or shown, the lightings and the color grading is changed into from cool tone in the Kim's family home into a warmer tone in the Park family home. This symbolizes the filmmakers use a vibrant and warm palette for the color grading and bright lighting, symbolizing wealth, comfort, and a life free of constraints because the Park family are in the higher level of social class. Next slide, please. And now let's proceed to the use of light to depict social disparities. The Kim's family home is often dimly lit, with only slivers of sunlight streaming through the narrow windows. As you can see in the movie, the Kim family lives in the basement, which little amount of light goes through it. So this is a visual metaphor for limited opportunities or low social mobility for the Kim family, meaning that they are poorer than the Park family. Next slide, please. So the next is the Park's family home, which as you can see, their window is wider than the Kim family home. So abundant natural light signifies openness to luxury and opportunity and higher social mobility because they are in the higher level of social class. Next slide, please. And the key scene or the scene that is shown in the movie, example scene that is used to depict social disparities is when Ki-woo went to the house for the first time, went to the house of the Park. From the cold tone of Ki-woo, when he enters the house of the Parks, suddenly he is warmly lit. So Ki-woo's entrance into the Park residence, bathed in light, symbolizes his aspirations for privilege. Next slide, please. And the last, Next is the physical space and as a class indicator. In the Kim family home, as we can see in the movie before, they are living in a basement, a cramped basement with small spaces. So this signifies that small space emphasizes the pressure faced by the lower classes in South Korean culture. Next slide. And next is the Park family home, which is opposite to the Kim's family home. The Park's family home is it's wider, it's more open, it's uncluttered. The uncluttered spaces highlight the freedom of luxury of the Park family home, meaning that wider space is equal to higher level of social class. Next slide, please. And the last key visual elements of the movie are the cultural symbols and the visual motifs. So first, we are going to talk about the scholar's rock. So this symbolizes Ki-woo's hope for upward mobility. However, as we can see in the movie, the scholar's rock during the flood, it becomes a burden, reflecting a cultural aspirations that can trap rather than liberate people. And next are the windows. Kim's narrow basement window. This exposes the harsh reality and lack of privacy of the Kim family, meaning that their window is very small, meaning that they are in the lower level of social class, especially that they are living in the basement. And next is the park's large glass wall. As I've said before, it symbolizes the wider, higher social mobility, and it is insulated and detached view of the world. And the last social visual motif is the stairs, the symbol of power and social mobility. The stairs, as you can in the movie, when we go to the family home, to the Kim's family house in the basement, when we go to the stairs, we descend, meaning we go down. This means that the Kim is living in the lower level of social classes. And the stairs of the family home of the Parks, when we go as seen in the movie, when we go to their house, we ascend, meaning we go up, symbolizing that they are in the higher level of social class. So that's all for my presentation in visual analysis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that one, James, for discussing to us one of the most compelling analysis, which is about talking on the visual. Now let's proceed to this section, which is the themes and messages of this movie. Now in this section, we will uncover the underlying themes and messages behind this movie, revealing the core takeaways and insight. Please proceed.
So hello everyone. So am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right. So I'm sorry I have a husky voice for now. All right. So for the first theme, we have here class struggle and inequality. So of course, all throughout the movie, it could clearly depict that this theme is being shown. So we have here Parasite reviews the growing economic divide between the rich and the poor in the modern society, because Korea has this history of like increase in their economic status. So the Kim family represents the impoverished working class struggling to make ends because, of course, their jobs are like just folding pizza boxes. And then the Park family represents the affluent class living a life of comfort and excess. So you could really see the differences of the lives between the rich and the poor. So the film illustrates both families are entangled in an unequal system, with the Kims relying on deception and survival. So next slide, please. All right, so it is often said earlier, the social mobility and class division. So when we say social mobility, it is where we have two, the horizontal or the vertical mobility, wherein on the movie it uses the vertical mobility, wherein it from poor to rich, or when it looks like in that way, but then in the movie it shows that what your life is, you should not be dreamed. You're free to dream, but then you have to do it on a right way. So here we have the Kim's attempt to climb the social ladder. So it is because they infiltrate the house of the Park's household, wherein they've done so many bad things just to have a job in the household. So despite their efforts, the rigid class structure makes it almost impossible for the Kims to truly escape poverty. So the metaphor of semi-basement, where the Kims live, highlights the social and physical divide between classes. So next slide, please. All right, so what are those deceptions and the survival happens in the film? So of course, the Kim used deception and manipulation to gain employment within the Park family, showcasing their resourcefulness. On the theme of parasites, the Kim feed off the Parks, and in return, the Parks also rely on the Kims as a parasitic relationship. It is because although the Park the Kim gives money to the Parks, but then they rely on the jobs or the service that they offer. So it's both are in a parasitic situation or in a relationship. Then the film suggests that survival in a capitalistic society often requires manipulation and moral compromise, because of course, although it is bad, but then there are really people who sort do bad things just to survive. And and I'm not saying that we can't blame them, but then it is really one of the problem of the society wherein employment is a must, wherein people must have jobs for them to not sort in any bad habits or in any bad action. So next is the unseen consequences of wealth. So the film emphasizes how wealthy often remain oblivious to the struggles of the lower class. So it is being said that there was a quote before that the poor became poorer, the rich became richer, and then they are being blind of the struggles of the poor, and they just keep on telling that why are you in that situation? It is because of what you do. But then there are really rich people who failed to understand the situations, so they overlook the struggles of the poor. So we have here the Parks are unaware of the Kim's manipulation until it was too late, symbolizing the disconnect between social classes. Then the underground bunker we're in the Park's house represents dark, often invisible consequence of wealth, including the oppression and exploitation of lower class. Then next slide, please. And lastly, we have the psychological and political violence. So Mr. Park's comment about Mr. Kim's smell exposes deep social and class divisions. So, and also the child, when the child smells them, he says that they all smells the same, but they can't just explain it because they're not used to that kind of smell. Then Kims are hired by the Parks but remained viewed as inferior. So they are maybe they're talking or they open sometimes, but then you could really see the divisions among them that oops, that topic you cannot ever touch it. Next is revenge and justice, or we have here, on the last part we're in, the movie ended with a bloody scene. So that ends my presentation. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that one, Gretchen. Am I audible? Everyone? Okay. I'm just a little bit more concerned about our time. So I think we have 5 minutes and 34 seconds left. So am I correct, Javan? Correct me if I'm wrong. Just let me know if this is the correct.
Now is 4 minutes and 28 seconds.
28 seconds. Do you think if it's okay to everyone, we're just gonna cut the part where Gretchen ended on her part rather of the discussion, and then let's proceed to a new link and join again to have our last part, which is I believe this is very short, and also for the conclusion, I think it's one of the most relevant and important topics we have to discuss, since there will be both Sarah and Camille who's going to discuss for that one. Is it okay to everyone? Let me know.
I guess kanang
Yeah, I'm good at that.
What was that? I'm sorry. Hello?
I guess maabot ra ang time pa.
Okay. Let's proceed. So can you go up? I mean, can you prove comparative reflection? For the comparative reflection, it's going to be me who's going to discuss that one. We're going to delve more about our reflection in terms of how this movie has made an impact to our discussion. Now, first, I don't have to dig more deeper on this one because it has been already discussed earlier by Amy, I believe. She mentioned about the social mobility, which there is a higher class, a middle class, and a lower class. It's not more likely discussed on the movie or shown about the middle class, but yeah, there's really an illusion of social mobility. Now we have the psychological impact of inequality. As we all know, inequality in not just in South Korea per se, but in all across the countries and around the world, inequality has been very rampant as well. So let's proceed for the importance of empathy. Empathy is trying to be in someone's shoes. So it's very important that we have to empathize. That's one of the things that I really wanted to include here in the reflection, because sometimes we lack with some kindness in this world. So it's nice, or it's very important that we have to empathize to other people's situation as well. Diverse perspectives, social commentary, cultural exploration, and human nature, of course. I don't need to dig deeper for that one because I think the conclusion will have a more elaborative discussion on it. So I think I will pass now the discussion for our conclusion, Sarah and Camille. Thank you.
So, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, tikams.
And makita na akong video?
Makita ra.
Okay. So, my name is Camille Olmogues, and I will be tackling about the conclusion of the movie Parasite 2019. So, basically, the overview of our movie film analysis is it's about the poor and the rich family. So, to wrap up our movie analysis, so in the conclusion, our collaborative presentation on Parasite 2019 highlighted the film's masterful exploration of class inequality, ambition, and systemic barriers in society. So the key takeaways include its use of symbolism and contrasting spaces to emphasize the divide between the rich and the poor, as well as its portrayal of the moral complexities arising from desperation and privilege. So, the film provides a profound cultural understanding of South Korea's economic challenges, particularly the struggles of lower income families, while also resonating globally with its universal themes. So, this analysis underscores the need for empathy and awareness in addressing social inequalities, both within specific cultures and across